Hi everyone, welcome to Ask an Armourer. My name is Kia and today I'm going to be showing you part of the process for how to rewire your epee. If you watch my videos on how to do this for a foil, it's the exact same process, just with a couple minor tweaks for dealing with 2 wires in epee versus 1 wire in foil. I'm going to film this process over several videos so that I can show you a couple different techniques that I know for each step, as well as give you pros and cons of each method. There's no objectively correct method. I've had success with everything that I'm going to show you, and it just matters that you have a functional weapon within the technical requirements laid out by the FIE at the end of the process. So just like with my tool recommendation videos, I always highly recommend that you try out a bunch of different things to see what works best for you and what you're most comfortable with. In this video, I'm going to be showing you what I call the wire rolling method of removing the old wire and glue. It's really important to make sure that your epee's groove is completely cleaned out before you start the rewiring and regluing process, as any old insulation, pieces of wire, glue, etc. left there will inhibit the forming of a strong bond of the new glue and will mean that popped wires are far more likely in the future. They're not impossible to fix, I just personally find them really annoying to deal with, so I rather do this well the first time rather than having to fix something later. To begin, you'll need to take your epee apart completely, including removing the tip. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and done that here. If you want a refresher on how to do this, you can simply reverse the steps in my video on how to assemble an epee, as well as my video on how to tighten the barrel of an epee's tip, and just turn the barrel counterclockwise rather than clockwise. For this, all you'll need is your blade, a pair of needle nose pliers, or an Allen key, and a utility knife. I also recommend you have a towel and some acetone on hand. To start, wrap the remaining ends of wire around your Allen key a couple of times or pinch them in your pliers. Make sure you keep your tool right next to the blade so all of the pulling forces goes into removing the wires and not straining them in different directions. Then start slowly rolling down the blade. If all goes well, this should roll the wires right out of the groove and neatly coil it up onto the tool you're using. Now, just a quick note before I finish. It's fairly likely that one or both of the wires will break at some point in this process, either from being strained during the actual roll, too much glue in the previous rewire, or they were already broken without being noticed, as just a few of the possibilities. In this case, here's a couple of ways you can get it back. The first assumes there is a decent amount of tail still showing. In this case, you can just remove the parts of the wire you've already cleared and start the process over with the new exposed ends. If you're not lucky enough to have this, the next thing you can try is to look at the other end of your epee. And see if there's enough exposed wire there to roll. If neither of these work, you can try to free some end by scraping with your utility knife. And ultimately, if none of these work, go ahead and toss it into an acetone bath. I'll link that below for more details on how to do that. Once the wire is completely removed, wipe down the blade with the towel using some acetone to help clear out any remaining glue, and if necessary, use your utility knife to scrape any remaining glue out of the groove. Take your time and be careful for your own safety, and always make sure the blade is pointed away from you. You'll also likely to make a few passes to make sure it's as clean as possible. Now, the main benefit of using this method is time. As you can see, actually doing the rolling of the wire was really quite quick, and scraping out any excess glue didn't take that much longer. So if you're really pressed for time, this might be the best method for you to use. However, this method does have a couple of potential drawbacks. As I mentioned, the wire could break at any point in the rolling process for a variety of reasons, and if you're unlucky, it could be tricky to get it started again. Also, it is almost impossible to guarantee just with scraping with the utility knife that you've gotten all of the old glue off. So there is a possibility of popped wires, as mentioned earlier. And with that, your blade is well on its way to being ready to be rewired. I'll have a couple other videos of other preparation techniques as well as re-gluing techniques following this, so stay tuned for all of that. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or other topics you'd like me to cover in the future, let me know down below. See you in the next one. Bye.